Hey guys, today I'm doing a review of the Ei Hi S911C Starfleet Quadcopter. I got this product a little while ago and I decided that I was going to do a review on it. As you can see, it's quite large. I measured it out and it's about 16 inches by 16 inches by about 2.5 inches depending on where you're measuring. So it's quite a large quadcopter, as you can see, compared to me. It comes with a 3.7 volt 500 milliamp battery, has the 2.4 gigahertz controller, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And this is just above an entry-level quadcopter. It has all your basic functions and plus a few extras that I'll talk about in a little bit. I haven't quite tested the range on it, but it seems to be doing quite well. It goes very high and pretty far out. But I'm a little nervous to push it to the limits because there's not a return to home feature, which is one of the cons of this. But it comes with a few extra features that I really like, such as this thing will do flips. So it'll do front flips, back flips, side flips. It makes it really fun to fly and entertain people, and they think you're really good, but it's not too hard to do. One of my favorite features actually is that on the base here it has a camera that will take videos or still shots. So I really like that aspect. I can take pictures of people's houses, or if I'm at a lake I can take pictures of the lake, or a sports game, or whatever. The quality isn't like the best in the world, but for this level of quadcopter, it's a sufficient camera, and I've really enjoyed it. Which also, as a side note, the quadcopter comes with a micro SD card, so you don't have to buy one if you don't want to. It also comes with an SD card reader, so you can plug it directly into your computer. Let's see, the controller here. Look at this. It has all your basic settings. Turn it on here. It has 3 settings that you can control. Has a beginner, moderate, and advanced level. So the beginner level, beginner speed is really slow, gentle turns. Moderate is just a little bit more aggressive, and when the speed is at 100%, it's a lot more agile, does sharper turns and banks and all kinds of things. So it's sufficient for any level flyer. You don't need to worry about calibrating the helicopter. As soon as you plug it in, set it down, you're good to go. So that's a really great feature that I really like. And so you don't have to spend a lot of time, fudging with it. It works immediately. On the controller itself, you can adjust the pitch and the yaw if you need to, based on wind factors. So if the wind is blowing a little bit, you can just adjust it a little bit and it'll go over to the right, no problem. I don't know if you can see the controller display here, but it shows how each rotor is working. Has your signal strength and your battery level. You can there's LED lights on the quadcopter, and you can turn those on and off from the controller. You can snap a photo directly from the controller, or start recording a video while it's in the air. So you don't have to start the video before you take off and then wait for it to land to stop it and try to edit it later. You can start it once you're up in the air and stop before you land, so you don't get all that nasty taking off and landing footage. Let's see. There's a lot of pros to this quadcopter. It's really lightweight. It weighs like next to nothing, so I really like that. The learning curve on it is really small. I've flown tons of different quadcopters, so I'm a little bit more experienced, but I've had several of my friends and family who have never flown before fly this, and they haven't had any problems. You definitely want to have them start outside, around nothing, so they don't crash. But it does really well. And in case they do crash, or you or whoever, it has a pretty cushioned frame, so it's not going to be breaking anytime soon. So I really like that. like I said, it's just a step above an entry-level helicopter. Um, it has really great distance on it. Like I said, I'm really impressed with how far it'll go. I'm a little timid to push it to the distance just because I'm afraid it won't come back or it'll just fall out of the sky. But I haven't had any problems with that yet. Camera is functional. It has directional LED lights, which let me plug the battery in here. So red is the back of the helicopter, whereas you got your white is the front. So when you're up in the sky, it's very easy to tell which way the helicopter is facing. So that's a really nice feature. If you've never flown before, it's very easy for the helicopter to get in the air and you not know which way you're facing, and then all of a sudden you'll be going the wrong way and you'll be confused. So that's really helpful. You can, like I said earlier on the controller, you can turn the lights on and off, and that'll just save battery, give you a little extra flight time. Let's see. It can support the weight of a GoPro. A lot of high dollar helicopters have cameras on them or can support GoPros no problem, but if you're looking for a basic helicopter that you want to get some really good footage on, it's hard to find one that will support a GoPro. And fortunately, this will support the weight of a GoPro. And I have attached it on here. I had to play around with it to kind of like get it to stick on here. And then unfortunately, when you do have the GoPro on here, it sticks out just above these legs. So you need to be really careful when you're landing and taking off to be in grass or some kind of cushioned area, so you won't hurt the camera. Has a distinct low battery indicator light. So when the battery starts getting low, all the lights on the helicopter start flashing, and gives you plenty of time to come back and land without falling out of the sky. So you don't have to worry about that. Just pay attention to the lights and they'll let you know. Some of the cons of this helicopter. One of my biggest things that I don't like about it is that it doesn't do too well in wind, just because of the sheer size of it. The wind, once it grabs it, if it's strong wind. Light wind, it has no problem with, but if there's strong wind, I don't even try to fly it anymore because just because of the size, it's hard to fight against the wind. And the other thing is with the camera. The camera doesn't have a gimbal, which I really wish it had, but it can be a little jerky depending on your skill set of flying. If you're really jerky, that's how the camera is going to look. But you can get some good footage just slowly turning, and but it can be difficult. And on windy days, I mean, it's just going to be really choppy video. So that's pretty much all I have to say on this helicopter. Overall, I'm very impressed with it. I really enjoy it. A lot of people have commented on it and wanted to fly it and try it, and I have no problem with them doing that. If you're looking for if you've started flying and you've flown some cheaper ones and you want to step up, this is a good one to move up to. I highly recommend it, and I think that's all I have to say for now. Thanks, guys.